Hello, I'm Gamer5150 and welcome to another episode of Arklay Zoo. We're going to jump right on in here and start with our underwater tunnel below our saltwater crocodile exhibit. Now this is the first time that I've worked with the underground tunnel, especially underwater, I should say, and I don't know. I wish it could have been higher to the water level, because it's hard to see the crocodiles from below when they are in the water. Also, in hindsight, I probably could have done this area a little bit smaller. Alright, now that all that seems to be taken care of, I'm going to go ahead and place the staff facilities for this area. This area will be serving the saltwater crocodiles, the Baird Tapirs, the safari zone, as well as, for the next episode, the Indian peafowls. Alrighty, now that we have our animals in their habitats, it's time to place the plants, their shelters, and their enrichment items. So something that I've decided to do, and I'm going to do this for the remainder probably of the habitats, is that I'm going to set the majority of them up before adding the animals and recording and stuff like that. Now with the safari area, unfortunately I did not record placing the animals in and stuff like that, as I wanted to make sure that I had everything correct. And I just wasn't recording. I may have forgotten. I'm not sure. It's been a few days. But right here, what we're going to do now is build the safari track for the guest to ride and see all the animals within the Gondarman Safari. Alrighty, now that we have our track all laid out and everything set up, it's time to check on the animals, and it looks like we had some issues with the plants and not enough coverage, or stuff like that. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now here is go through and fix that. Now, while the ride itself is going through its test phase, we're going to go ahead and set up all the education screens and donation bins right here in the front end of the safari zone. And now just a couple of final checks here, making sure that all the correct feeders and watering things and stuff like that are in place for each animal that is within the safari zone. Earlier on, as you can see, I do have some feeders placed around, but then I realized the giraffes have a different type of feeder, the ostriches have a different type of feeder, so I don't know what I was thinking when I placed everything down originally. There is a high possibility that I have bitten off more than I can chew with this safari zone. Unfortunately, for some reason, the keepers aren't filling the food, which I know I've complained about a lot. I did read up on it and went to the actual Frontier forums here, and it says that, if the keepers find that they're being fed enough from the enrichment, they'll just fill that. They won't worry about the food feeders themselves, which I to me still I think is backwards. I mean, they're called enrichment food items for a reason, not regular nutrition. So there's that. And now what I'm doing here is just putting out my wonderful elephant grass, I guess, to kind of hide the ride from the rest of the zoo, and to kind of give the ride itself a little bit more of an aesthetic when you're on it. Alrighty, now we're going to add in our last habitat of this episode, which is the Gharials. And that about does it for the speed build portion of the episode. And here, as soon as we get these Gharials in, will be our live play portion, which is actually most of the episode. So I'll see you in a couple seconds here in the live play. Alright, and welcome to the live play. So I wanted to start here in my first attempt at an underwater tunnel, which as you can see once you hit the water it gets a little murky looking. But that's what I wanted to show you. That's why I have it on pause. Not what I wanted. So yeah, he's just kind of... Seems to be that with this stuff they get stuck if they're over it. At least that's what I've noticed on some other YouTubers. But we'll take a look at that in a minute. But yeah, that's our underwater tunnel. My first attempt. Possibly my last. But here's our saltwater Crocs. And look at the baby. Adriatna? Interesting. Let's move you. And pretty... Oh, is there more than... Nope, that's just a really small adult. Yeah, that's our saltwater Crocs right there with the underwater tunnel. Wow, I swear I can talk. And then moving right along, we have our Baird Tapirs, which is just something I knew I needed to throw something in, so I did. And there's 3 of them. 3 adults, and let's check on their social. Alright, so we need to get rid of one, so let's take a look at their genetics here. Oh, that might be the one. Oh. female, male. Not the underwater tunnel. And male. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and let's just release them into the wild, shall we? Ta-da! Now they should be just a little happier with their size. Let's take a look at their social. And perfect. Alright, well let's move on. Then the next thing over here is this huge safari zone. We have the common warthog. We have zebras. African buffalo. African buffalo. Sable antelope. Ostriches. Buffalo, buffalo, antelope. Antelope. Zebra. Oh, look, the keeper's actually doing their job and freaking doing the feeders. You'll see on the other side that they haven't really been doing it, but we have giraffes. I know we've got more than that. Antelope, warthog, buffalo. If you hear something in the background, it's my cat. She's walking around on paper. Huh. I know we've got wildebeests. Yeah, black wildebeests. And we should have some springboks. At least I thought. Pardon me. Well, I guess the best way to really take a look and see what species are in here is to click on the barrier. Oh, I shouldn't have clicked on the barrier. Come in here. Yeah, springboks. I just don't know where they are. There we go. Is that? Oh, hungry. Yeah. See, like I said, the starving. Like this is ridiculous. The zookeepers, I think, just now might be getting to their job, but not really. They focus on the enrichment, the food enrichment first, and instead of the actual nutritious feeders. So like this is a food enrichment thing and it's filling it up. I've got 50. I might have to tweak some of the options here. But I just, that it just amazes me because, I mean, look, here's another giraffe feeder and it's empty. This isn't a feeder, it's an enrichment item. So it's supposed to be, like, a side dish, so to speak. Oh, that's upsetting. But anyways... in here we've got African buffalo, black wildebeest, common ostrich, common warthog, plains zebra, reticulated giraffe, sable antelope, and springboks. And I made sure that there was enough room and hopefully enough beddings for them to just have at it and have the population expand. And as you can see too, there is also a safari ride. Oh look, the sable antelope is about to inbreed. We don't really need to watch it, thank you. Let's just let's turn off the turn on the contraceptive there. That sounds like a good plan. We'll just turn on the contraceptive. Oh man, this is just every time I turn it on to do a live play, maybe I should just start keeping it on pause. Oh man. I did have fun building this and stuff, and it was a pretty good attempt, I think, and we'll just have to see how it turns out, see if I can fix the feeder issue. I set like maybe 10 zookeepers on just food in just this area. Moving right along, we put in some Gharials. I think that's how you say it. And they've already had babies. Look at the little babies. Look at the little babies. And I'm just worried that we might be able to keep them all. Might not be able to with space. Space might be an issue. Yeah, that's right at the... Well, it's okay. We might be getting rid of some Gharials then. And of course, off camera, I believe I did all this with the beautifying, as I like to call it. And then, of course, off camera, I did this sign. Now, if I haven't explained it already, I'll explain it now. My best friend, Jamie, I named the safari after her because she was the only one out of my Facebook friends to ask if multiple species could be in the same habitat. So I decided that I would do a multiple species habitat and name it after her. Well, I chose her last name and stuff. So yeah, there's that, and I made this wonderful sign to go with it. And in fact, I actually prefer how it looks at night. All lit up because I put these street lights above it and then just these little lamp lights below to help illuminate the bottom area here. Unfortunately though, hardly anybody is riding the safari ride, so that's a bit of an issue. I think I also have too many cars going, so yeah, we'll see. So I believe, let's turn it back today, I believe that takes care of everything. We'll go ahead and zoom out here. Excuse me. Oh, I did do some things like putting this in and putting a little path here and stuff for expansion. Put flowers and all that stuff around here to make it just look nicer. Same thing with this one. I'm going to put more in the open spaces. Now the reason why I'm leaving a lot of these open spaces too is so that I can expand. Like if I really wanted to, I could expand the Gharials just a little bit, but mainly it's for staff expand. I'm just getting tongue tied like crazy, but staff expansions, man. And I added some elephant grass along here and some flower work and stuff in there. Yeah, and then benches and lights and stuff like that were added in as well. Like along here. And I haven't figured out what to do here. I think this is just going to be a staff building expansion. I'll probably put elephant grass all the way through here and continue it here too, until it starts to curve. But I did put the path around the backside here too, so there's more viewing areas for people who don't want to ride the ride. And I think I've talked your ear off enough, and my throat's starting to get a little sore. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call it a day here. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to give you a slightly sped up version of the Gondorman Safari ride. And after that, I'm going to leave you with an idea of what is coming to Arklay Zoo. So yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed this episode. And if you did, go ahead and give that like button there a nice little hit. Leave me a comment, good or bad, doesn't make much difference to me. I accept it all. And hit that subscribe button if you are new. I'm Gamer5150, and I hope you have a wonderful day.